Hello there, and welcome to the Larson Bear in Rene. I would like to tell you something about the history here of the land use and about the current land use. So let's get right into it. You might be wondering, mountains in the Netherlands. How is that even possible? So that's for this reason. During the ice ages, big ice caps were covering northern Europe, and they pushed forward, like a bulldozer, big amounts of sand and gravel. And it reached all the way until here, the middle of the Netherlands. And that's why this soil here is sandy, because this soil that was pushed forward was sand and gravel. So the upper 10 to 40 centimeters here is mostly coarse sand, and below 40 centimeters is mostly gravel. And for this reason, you can only find certain crops that are grown here, or plants. For example, you won't find any tomatoes or other vegetables that are grown here because the soil is way too dry. But what you do find here is certain type of grains. One of the grains that it's grown here is summer rye, in Dutch zomerrogge. It's very unique because it's normally only grown in the south of Limburg. So on the other side of the rye field is right here, there is a forest. But this forest has not always been here. Before this forest was here, the Larson Bear was mostly wasteland and heath, and agriculture was not possible due to the dry and acid soil. You can clearly see a difference in forest coverage over the years, especially here between 1905 and 1915. There's a huge difference, especially in the north and the western part of the mountain, as well as between 1930 and 1960. There is a huge difference. That's also because there was no map made in 1945. After 1960, 1975, 1990, you don't see a huge difference anymore in the north and in the east. There's a little difference, but yeah, this is what the Larsenberg looks like nowadays. The reason for the expansion of the forest is quite complicated and related to a lot of things. Before the expansion of the forest, sheep were held here, and they made sure that this soil could be fertilized. After the introduction of artificial fertilizer, however, the sheep were not needed anymore, and therefore the soil and the land could be used for other purposes. For example, the demand for wood grew in the Netherlands, and that's why also here in the Larsenberg they planted forests to use as chopswood. If you're doing a walking tour, you've already been introduced to this. And what this means is that they plant certain types of trees. Here it was oak trees, and they are chopped every 5 to 15 years. It depends a little bit on the type of tree. And this wood that was chopped could be used to heat their homes, for example. On the Larsenberg, oak chopswood was already been introduced before in the Middle Ages, but in the 20th century it expanded a lot, as I already said, and therefore almost the entire mountain is now covered in trees. So the question now is the forest allowed to expand even further? The answer to this is no. Utrecht Landschap, the nature manager here, is trying to obtain as much of the farmland as possible to give back to nature, but these old farmlands will not be planted with trees. Their strategy is rather to thin the existing forest and create a so-called transition zone between the open lands and the old forests. I will show some clips now where you can see this very clearly. Utrecht's Landschap hopes that these transition zones help in connecting the Larson Bear as a nature reserve to other nature reserves on the Utrechtse Heuvelrug. So when you're doing the walking tour, please stop the video here and continue to the next location, like I will do. If you're not doing the walking tour, please continue watching the video. And yeah, see you later. Hello, I'm standing at the second location now, and corn is grown here. It has just been planted because it's still very small. I want to show you a very unique feature in the landscape. These things, these are called lynchets. In Dutch they're called graften. And you can normally only find them in Zuid-Limburg. In the Middle Ages they created these terraces, as you can see here and here. And in between those terraces the lynchets were created. And their purpose is to prevent erosion. Because the roots of all the bushes and all the plants keep the soil together. And because of the steep slope, there is plenty of erosion here. But because the soil is kept together at these points, it doesn't flush away. To this day, the lynchets still prevent erosion. However, they are not in a very good state. As you can see here, the corn is grown very close to the edges of the field and very close to the edges of the lynchets, and this is not very good for the quality of it. You can see that there are no trees on this side of the lynchets and not very thick bushes, which also doesn't help in maintaining it. Over there in the back you can see a better maintenance, but still it's not what it used to be. Over the past years, Utrecht's Landschap has tried to negotiate with farmers, has tried to obtain the soil of the lynchets, but has not been very successful, unfortunately. I think it's such a waste that they're not maintained very well, because they not only have a historical value, but they also have a value of enhancing biodiversity. And on the other hand, they're also very practical to farmers. I mean, they prevent erosion, and in the end, it's their fields that are affected by it. So yeah, I think that they should be maintained better. So for now, please enjoy them. I think they're beautiful. And yeah, they might not be there in the future, so enjoy them for now. And that's all for today. When you're doing the walking tour, I wish you very good luck finding the last location. And I hope you find it very interesting. I also hope you find this video interesting. And yeah, see you later.